Good morning, good afternoon, good evenings. You guys are based on different locations. Okay, so let me first introduce myself. I believe that inshallah this training will be a very good training for all of you guys, and you will learn a lot today to help your businesses move in the right directions. And tomorrow we will have more additional training on digitalization stuff. So let me introduce first myself. My name is Sayyid Naveed Hussain. I am from Pakistan. I'm an industrial engineer by profession. I am also executive MBA in marketing and finance. I have 16 years of experience in plant operations management, lead multiple businesses for startups and lean manufacturing, work in the big multinational like Procter & Gamble, Honda, Mondelez, and Obic investment groups in 6 different countries like UK, Nigeria, Morocco, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. I have been engaged in the business excellence program since last 12 years, implemented integrated work system for PNG, ILCSS for Mondelez, WCOM, Obican manufacturing excellence programs. I have been leading the WCOM program since last 4 years as a head, and managing digital transformation since last 2 years as well. So this is brief about. So now going deep into the pillars, why we need pillars again, as I explained, and what is the loss-driven methodology, which pillar is basically helping. So as we all know that every business has some kind of turnover, okay? Turnover means total sales, total revenue, whatever, okay? So every business has some value-added material, and every business has some kind of transformation cost, okay? And in terms of raw material, employee, energy, maintenance, building, depreciation, transportation cost, many things. So every business has some kind of cost, which is transformation cost to convert the product into a raw material into a finished good product, basically. And then you sell it, and then you make a profit, okay? But if, for example, this transformation costs keep increasing, your profit will keep reducing. So that's why it's extremely important that we work on the transformation costs and even on the value-added material costs, okay? We attack it in terms of, for example, high waste, for example, a lot of cost of claims, for example, a lot of rejection from the customers. Clear? So it is extremely important that every business should see this part mainly and some part of the value-added material as a loss, okay? And then you need to identify the potential, okay? And how to identify the potential is that basically that every KPI you go and deep analysis and find out that there are some losses, because most of the businesses know very well that what is their best in class standards, technological limitations. For example, they know that, okay, I can, whatever product I'm making, I will have minimum 3% waste because my machine is designed in a way that it cannot, I will always have this much waste in terms of, for example, trim, or in terms of excess material I need to keep on the sides of the product, which will be wasted. So there's always a limitation, which is the futures which you should target as the minimum loss in your business. But every business has many losses in terms of, for example, if you're operating at 40% efficiency, this means you can take it to 80%, 90%, why not? So this means if you take it to that level, this means your labor loss will go down. You will use less labor for the same product. You will use less energy, okay? You will use less water and less overtime, less contractors, okay? So every business you need to identify the potential, okay? And then you need to attack this potential as your vision to attack, okay? And that is most of the zero state for the future, okay? So this, for example, in the potential, for sure, you cannot attack everything in the first year. So you need to find out that, okay, what are the things which I can eliminate and reduce as a low hanging fruits, the losses which can easily attack by using the methodologies, which we have discussed, which we'll be discussing in more detail in the pillar. So you use this as a saving plan, so which is going to help you. For example, if you eliminate this much losses, obviously this transformation cost bracket will further go down. It will increase your profitability, which every business leader is looking for. Clear? Now going to the pillars in detail, okay? So every pillar, as we have discussed, that every pillar has 2 objectives. that it develops the capabilities and it helps organization, any business with the loss methodologies which they can use to attack specific losses, because we cannot wait for all the steps implementation but for building the capability, and then once the people will be capable and then they will start eliminating the losses. So we do two things in the parallel, that we work on building the system of the mechanism to evaluate the losses, to find out the losses, to track the losses. But in the parallel, we also start using methodologies to attack specific losses to start getting some benefit of the lean manufacturing. Because what happened worldwide in the past in the old methodologies, that the business were implementing the lean manufacturing, but they were mainly focusing on building the capability. And what was eventually happening is that for many years or for many months, the people, businesses, leaders were not getting any benefit of lean manufacturing. And then they started feeling frustrated that, guys, we are spending a lot of money, we have the dedicated organization, but still we are not getting the results we are looking for. And then that's why many companies eventually took a decision to just get rid of this, to not spend the money on the lean manufacturing. So it's extremely important that when you start implementing the lean manufacturing, we should start really getting the benefit immediately, because the stakeholders and the owners and the leader of the organization cannot afford to wait for years to have the capability and then start getting the benefits of it, out of it. So FI pillar is the most important pillar in our lean manufacturing. It focus, why it is the most important pillar? Because this pillar owns the cost of the business. So it owns the total cost of the business. It evaluates the total cost of the business and find out the biggest losses, and it helps other pillars know that what are the losses this pillar has to attack. So they have to attack basically. So if you look at this picture, that we have this much, for example, you have a labor headcount in the organization in terms of number of hours per week or whatever. So there is overtime, there is absenteeism. Okay, so this is the total, the money you are spending in your business in terms of the labor cost. So there are some organization losses, okay, and there are some OE losses, and there are some crew losses, and there is an idle crew. This means that principally, if you say that what would be the ideal situation should be this, that you should use only this much labor hours to produce your output. What does it mean? This means that you will have almost zero efficiency loss. You will not have any kind of extra crew in the organization for rework, for other kind of activities, or because of, for example, the planning is staffing all the machines fully, but they are not putting jobs on every single machine. So people are idle, sitting idle, waiting for the jobs. Clear? And then, or you may have the problem, for example, that you have extra people in the organization because nobody has evaluated that how many people are needed exactly to process these jobs. So nobody has evaluated the task. And then you have organizational losses, which are basically mainly linked to the, for example, you have the breaks and you have other such kind of issues. So the pillar will only help know these losses. OE losses will be diverted mainly toward PM pillar and AM pillar, and also in terms of the setups, make readies, changeovers. It will be the FI pillar himself focusing on it. Okay, and this kind of pillar also in this crew situation, we have two kind of losses. First thing is about the organization losses in terms of staffing, how many people we have staffed, and also the losses into the product supply pillar, supply chain pillar, to make sure that they have a KPI to optimize, to make sure that they plan resources properly and eliminate the losses related to the staffing. So overall, FI pillar focus on improving the productivity and overall manufacturing costs. And the main purpose is to build the capability in the organization to make sure that all the losses are eliminated. So the key methodology with FI pillar focus on is the setup time reduction, team efficiency routes. So setup time reduction is the route which helps you with the changeovers or make readies, whatever the methodologies or concept you use in your organization. Then team efficiency route to optimize the resources. So look at the losses related to the excess manpower or task evaluations. Man machine cycle improvement, material change losses. For example, whatever you are doing changeovers, you are doing material losses as well, because if you are not planning your changeovers properly, you will be causing a lot of losses related to the material changes while doing the changeovers. And you principally you should have the production maintenance and processing a part of this pillar. Now, as I explained, that every pillar has step-by-step methodologies and also have the loss methodology. So this FI pillar has 6 steps methodology in terms of implementation of the pillar for building the capability to attack the losses. Okay, so every pillar, in the first step, you focus on defining what are your key objectives in terms of the key KPI which this pillar will be focusing on, and which this pillar will be attacking on. So as we discussed, the FI pillar focus heavily on the improving the productivity and also the changeovers. So these would be the main KPIs of this pillar. Plus, it also owns the overall cost, so it owns the OE losses. Okay, so it do the complete analysis of the OE, and it divert the losses to the other pillars, and some losses it attack itself. So the most important thing in the foundational part of this pillar is basically the first step that you develop the complete frame of reference in terms of what kind of KPI this pillar will focus. Do we really have a mechanism in place to track these losses? If, for example, you are not tracking the OE, then you need to start developing a mechanism to start tracking the OE, because this is the most important thing in the next steps for all the pillars to find out what are the losses they have to eliminate. So extremely important that in the first step you identify the KPI you want to attack, make sure that we have a mechanism in place to calculate this KPIs, and then also we evaluate that do we have the right analysis on, if we have this available, then we do the analysis on the OEs and also analysis on the labor losses. So these are two which cause capacity and labor analysis, that how much capacities I have and how many people I have staff in my organization. So this helps you know that are we really overly staffed or understaffed, so that you can understand that how you need to adjust yourself. So maybe the volumes and the targets you are looking for to deliver, if you look at your current efficiencies, you may find out that you need to add additional machines, or you need to improve the other efficiencies of this machine to deliver the business we are looking for. So you do a capacity and labor analysis to understand that my current business targets in terms of volumes, do I really have the sufficient capacities in terms of machines and in terms of labor? That maybe I have a capacity is not an issue, I have sufficient machines, but I have not staffed all the machines. So it is very important to create a right mechanism to understand the exact need of the labor in the organization. So once you do this model, then you go to the next step and start attacking the losses. So once you know your key objectives you want to attack, in the next steps you start focusing on the biggest pains. So every pillar, just to tell you again guys, every pillar has step-by-step methodologies. All the initial steps in the pillar attack the biggest chunk of your losses. So it is very, very important that we don't need to hurry to implementing all the steps as early as possible, because the advanced steps can only eliminate the very minor level of losses, because in advanced steps you use very specific tools to attack leftover losses. Okay, so extremely important that you understand that we don't need to hurry. The first 2-3 steps I would say should take at least 2 to 3 years. You need to use this first 3 to 4 steps. In a different pillar have the different advanced level steps and the initial steps. So you need to make sure that you work on the initial steps as much as and use them in all areas. The concept would be basically that you make a lead model example and then you roll out. When you are able to eliminate the losses, similar losses in all areas, then please move to the next step. Don't need to hurry to do one model in one area and you say you have done the step 2, then khalas, I will go do at step 3. So you should not do like this, that you do one step in one area and then forget about the other area having the similar losses and move to the advanced step and eliminate the similar loss in other area, and you assume that you have implemented all the steps. The pillar approach is very simple, that you do this one step, you roll out in all the area, then move to the next step, then roll out in all area, then move to the third step, then roll out in all area. In this way, only this way you can eliminate all your losses. Okay, so going back to the second step of the FI pillar. So in the second step in the FI pillar, you focus on the machine productivity losses. So in the first step, for example, we have identified our OE losses. So first thing you will do is basically you go deep into your machine losses in terms of setup time and setup waste. The first thing is that that you go and find out that are we really spending sufficient time on the changeover or make readies or setups. So you evaluate your losses and you attack these losses. And in the parallel, you also make sure that you have the right capabilities to do this thing, because it is very important that you make sure that when you want to talk about these things in terms of improving setup time, and you have the right capability in the organization. So pillar has to make sure in this time, pillar is also focusing building the capability in the team, the pillar team. So you do the lead models in this phase, okay, and you also do the deep analysis of the OE losses and divert the losses toward the other pillars to attack on. Okay. Then in the third step, pillar start focusing more deep into the labor organization losses. So up to step 2, we were focusing on the setups, that okay, what kind of setups we are doing. Do we have any challenges with our setup make readies? So you can use a SMAT techniques or whatever techniques you different kind of techniques. I will show you one example. So you can use different techniques to attack these losses. But then next thing is to understand and evaluate your organization losses. That what it is our current organization structure, how many people we have in the organization, how many machines are staffed, are we overly staffed or understaffed, and then start understanding that, make it part of a daily discussion in your meeting, that how many people we have staff in terms of permanent resources, contractors, and how many machines we have staff and how many machines are not staffed. So we need to understand that are we really making sure that every person in the organization is engaged. So just imagine this thing will help you a lot to understand that the very big losses in terms of idle resources on the floor, because of the fluctuation in terms of our business volumes. So sometimes your businesses may have if some businesses are seasonal mainly, some months are extremely peak. So you keep yourself staff, and in the low season, you still have the same staff. So just imagine the productivity in the season and in the low season. So high season and the low season is a very clear, you will have a productivity loss. So this means you need to understand that what should be my minimum fixed structure and what should be my variable structure. Because if my business is seasonal, I cannot maintain the same structure in the peak season and in the low season. So you understand your business and you take a decision accordingly. So that's why it's extremely important that every business, and I will explain this more in detail in our TDC discussion, total delivery cost driver discussion, that the fixed cost is killing in every business. So our approach should be always that in all businesses, whatever we are managing, we need to make sure that our cost structure is in a way that we have a minimum fixed structure and more variable structure, so that we can easily manage to adjust ourselves based on our market demands. So if our volume is fluctuating, our business is fluctuating, we can easily take a decision that, okay, I can reduce my overtime, I can adjust my overtime, or I can eliminate my contractors. But if you have fixed employees, you have a business, you don't have a business, you have to keep paying them. So that is a big loss. Then in the step 4, you start talking about in resource saturation, and in step 5, you talk about the resource saturation at the micro level. What is different between the macro level and the micro level? Macro level is, for example, that you evaluate that how many people, for example, you say that, okay, I have 5 people in one area or 10 people in one area. Why I have this 10 people in this area? Why not 5? Why I'm operating with 10 people? Okay, so you basically evaluate every single person in the organization in terms of value adding, non-value adding, semi-value adding activities. You might be familiar with this kind of concept of evaluating the organization. So this you do at the macro level to understand that, okay, and then you find out the potential that maybe yes, some people saturation is only 50%, some people are 60%, some people 70%. So what I can do, I can readjust these people in terms of task management, and I can eliminate some resources which will help me reduce what fixed structure. Okay, then at the macro level, you go deep into the individual tasks. You said, okay, this person is doing 10 tasks. Do I really need to do this task? How can I do what I do to eliminate this task possible? So you start talking about at this level in terms of low cost automation or unmanned operations. You said that, okay, can I automate the process? Can I do this activity by robots, or can I just develop some kind of supporting equipments or tools which can help me eliminate this task for the operator? So then you start talking about the micro level discussion to eliminate the further loss, to optimize the resources further. So there's, just to explain you again, that as I said, that the advanced steps talk about the very micro level losses. These are not your biggest chunk of the losses. So initial steps always, step 2, 3 up to 4 will help you always with the biggest losses in your business. Okay, so that's why it's extremely important. Don't need to hurry to go for advanced level of steps. Please focus and make sure that the initial steps are done properly, and then you go to the advanced level and you implement the advanced steps. And the last step in every pillar is mainly the hold again concept, in terms of making sure that whatever approaches, standards you have developed, you just reapply and keep doing the same thing and build the more capability in the organization. To because so far we were having mainly the pillar and some specific people engage up to step 5. Or in the step P, we want to make sure that we build the capability everyone in the organization, and the people start looking at every single loss themselves and start attacking themselves. Now, as I explained, that every pillar has step-by-step methodologies. Okay, so every pillar need to have some efficiencies, methodologies to attack. So I'm giving you an example of the team efficiency route. Okay, that FI pillar helps to eliminate. So it is extremely important that you need to understand this in more detail, because I will show you a difference between the old mindsets and the new mindset. And what is the difference between that, what people used to do normally and they are still doing in many industries, and what is the something different in this new approach. The first step is basically that you find out that while you're implementing the step, you find out that, okay, I have some losses I want to attack immediately based on, for example, in the first step, when you identify your potentials in terms of targets, you go to the next level and you attack some specific losses, because you cannot wait for implementation of system. You want to eliminate some specific losses immediately. So you pick up the area and you evaluate the activities in the area and list down and check that what are the value-added activities, what are non-value-added activities, and you readjust yourself and make sure that everything is done the way it should be done. So normally in every business, in all the lean manufacturing methodology, we normally do the job until this point, that you find out the area, you pick up you evaluate the loss in terms of all the activities in the area, all the
Sorry, we don't hear you very well. Can you repeat?
And we get some good results that you sorry, okay. So again, so I am giving example of a team efficiency route, okay, methodology which FI pillar basically helps. The first thing is that what you do is
Naveed, I think you have a connection issue.
You pick up an area and then you basically
Hi, Naveed.
So
We don't hear you at all.
Well, maybe he cannot hear us as well. I'm writing to him right now. Navid. Yeah, I thought so.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Finally, yes.
I don't know what happened.
Maybe you
For
know.
how long you were listening me? Sorry, guys.
We like 3 minutes. We had problems. Probably it started the same slide all over.
Please let me know. This slide was. Let me just. Sorry.
For the team, for focus improvement team methodology.
Okay, so this slide or this slide, guys? Please confirm me. This slide was done?
No, it was okay. Next one.
Okay, clear. So the first thing, so as I mentioned that every pillar has step-by-step methodologies and they have some specific, sorry, just a minute. Let me use a pointer to just, okay. They have step-by-step methodologies to attack the specific losses and they have steps to be implemented. So I'm giving one example of one team efficiency route that how we use the step-by-step methodologies to attack a specific loss. Okay, and this methodology we use for up to a span of 10 to 12 weeks. So we just don't do activity for 2 to 3 or 4 weeks maximum. Normally in the old traditional way, what people do, they do first step and the second step. Let me explain what is the first and second step. What do we do? We normally, when we want to improve the efficiency of any team in one area, you pick the area, you do the evaluation of all the tasks and activities in the area. You use the tools, for example, value adding and non-value adding activities. And then you do the ECRS, eliminate, reduce, readjust, and simplify techniques to eliminate the task and adjust the task, and that help you reduce some people. Okay, so what you do, you just do that, develop the new standards and train the people in the area and you just leave. So what happens is that the people have no acceptability on this standard because you are pushing people to do more additional tasks most probably, and you are making things difficult for people, like in terms of, you know, you are increasing their saturation in terms of the activities. So this might not be easy for them to accept this. So you do this activity and you move on. And what happened is that after some days, you find out that the production manager and the area leaders and the in charge, he's still running the machine with the same number of people because he was not able to manage and the people started giving him troubles. And then he went back to the same structure to make sure he keep getting the results because he cannot afford to have the losses. So what is different between this and this, for me, up to step 2 is the old methodology. Now step 3, 4, and 5, and 6 is all about the new approach, advanced approach, to make sure that whatever you do it in a way to make sure that the people accept the change, and you make sure that whatever the challenges with this change is you address the challenges. So in the step 3, particularly, what you do is when you implement the standards, you develop a system to record anomalies. Anomaly means that you implement it and then you evaluate that, okay, when the people start using this new way of doing things in terms of new task management, in terms of different tasks assigned to different people, you check that how people are doing, and then you find out if people are real, because whatever you did until this point is more theoretical. You did the evaluation of the task and you said, okay, I can adjust the people to 4 because the saturation is some people are 50%, some people 60%. It's pure theoretical. Huh? So when you implement it, you need to make sure that you practically check that is it really working or not working. So you build a system of checking that is it really working or not working, and then you keep asking people that are you really feeling comfortable with what we have implemented, and then you record this thing and keep training the people. Obviously, you keep training the people because you have the new adjustment in the process. So you keep training the people, and then you go to the step 4 to analyze the anomaly, that why this theoretical work did not work in case if you find any problem. So you evaluate your anomalies and do the complete cause and effect analysis and 5i, which is lean manufacturing tools, to evaluate that whatever task you redefine, you reassign to the different people or eliminate it, is why this did not work. So these tools help you know that why it did not work, and then you identify and then the countermeasures, and you implement the countermeasures to make sure that it works. And then you, after all this, you check again your saturation. So whatever you did after this, you would have some theoretical saturation calculation. After this is now it's more practical. Then you go and check the saturation again and make sure that it is working. And then, and that's why I said that each team will work for 10 to 12 weeks, because we have to make sure that all these things really work. And whatever solution we have implemented, it should work. So you do the team optimization further in case you still find any further potential at the step number 5. And then the very, very important thing is that once you do this thing, you make it a part of your daily business. You make some visual control management, and you discuss that, okay, I have to use 5 people in this area. Am I really using the 5 people in this area? So this means that you make a machine board, and you make sure that you are tracking that number of people who are working in this area for that specific kind of a job or specific kind of a process. And you're also discussing this as a part of a daily meeting, or wherever you are discussing the labor organization discussion, you are discussing to make sure that whatever you have achieved, it is sustained over the time. And in this case, if there is a problem, you again do the same cycle of understanding the anomaly and doing the analysis and readjusting. Because the most important thing is that whatever we have achieved, we have to sustain it over the time.
Naveen, quick questions. Do you have any practical example of this execution or implementation that we can look at?
What I can do is, because frankly speaking, I have to give all the pillars method, examples, pillar steps details. What I can do, I can send you guys a case study. Okay.
Okay. It will be helpful, so we can implement the theory, in a practical situation.
Yeah. I will send you guys examples, some good example with most of the pillars. Okay. And you guys can follow up with me in case you have any concern with a specific step. Okay. Because if I get into detail of any examples, it will take a lot of time, and the training time is extremely limited. So I have to make sure that I go through all the pillars and explain you all the steps and the methodologies as much as possible, because I have to cover up everything. Clear?
So, and please refrain with questions for the end of before the break.
Did you mention that in the beginning of the training? Okay, we'll stop the question, no problem.
Okay.
No, in case of any serious issue, you can stop me, no problem. But I cannot take many actions because obviously there are time limitations. Thank you, guys.